Welcome to this new episode of the podcast. I'm Nathan Schooley, and I am excited for us to be able to hear from Joanne Olimberio. Joanne has a very unique way of growing her business where she partners with Spartan. So she trains for Spartan. She gets a community of people to also race the Spartan races. Not only does she do it around the Spartan races, but they meet regularly. They exercise, they do walks, they have picnics. She creates a community around the USANA business. So she's going to share some tips and tricks that she does specifically with the USANA Spartan race, but things that you can also do, even if Spartan is not something that you're interested in doing. Have a listen, enjoy, and take some notes. Although this particular podcast may not have any claims, we do need to read a couple disclaimers so that we can put it on all the podcasts and that we will be covered. So first of all, for product statements, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And for earnings and lifestyle. The earnings and lifestyle portrayed are not typical. Earnings are calculated on a sales to consumers. No sales or commissions are guaranteed. Success results only from your diligent efforts. For typical earnings, see the average annual earnings chart at www.usanaincome.com. Hello, Joanne. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Nate?
Doing well, thank you. Joanne, I appreciate you taking time with us today. I'm excited. I know like you and I, we've got to work pretty closely together over the recent couple of years. But I'm excited because you do something a little bit unique. And that's actually why we invited you to be on this podcast, is because of the way that you've been growing this community. So thank you again for taking time out of your day.
Thank you.
I'll give a little bit of a background, but I have some questions that I'd love to hear your insight on. So basically, for those of you who don't know, Joanne, she has a great community around the Spartan races. So I know Joanne and her husband, Vic, they're very, very passionate about Spartan races and health in general, but they've really latched onto the Spartan races even before USANA had a partnership with them. And so she's been doing these things, and now just that community has grown so much. And it's been exciting to see. I've been able to run a few races, which I never thought that I would do, by the way. And you've got
You and me both.
yeah. And that's actually what I wanted to ask is like, how did you and Vic, how and why did you and Vic get started just in this health journey, and specifically even with the Spartan race?
So just real quick on that, Vic is actually a runner. He's always wanted to do a marathon run, and he never could. But with the help of USANA, of course, when he became healthier, he was able to reach the goal of doing a full marathon. So one day he started seeing Cami, that's my daughter, train for something, and he asked her, what are you training for? So she said, well, I'm training for a Spartan race. And Vic was like, really? And who are you running with? You, of course, she said. So that's kind of where it started. And of course, because Vic is so ambitious and he's thinking he's really, really great already, he went straight for the beast, which, if you don't do Spartan, that's one of the highest ones level. For most people, that would be the highest one that they would do. But so he did that, and he said right after that he did Big Bear, which is the one of the most difficult, I think number 2 difficult venue. He did it, and after that he said, that is it for me. I'm done. I'm never gonna do that again. But I did it. But a week later, of course, I think with most people that do the Spartan, they decide, I'm gonna do this again. So that's kind of how it started. And so we've been doing, Vic has been doing Spartan since then. And this was before we even had a partnership with USANA. So that's kind of how it started.
Oh man. Yeah. And he's the very athletic. I don't even know how to describe this, but I think he's a beast. There you go. He's a beast. It's amazing to see. And, being able to run with you guys, it's been fun to watch how not only does he has his races where he goes for his personal best, but when you're getting a group together, and the ones that I ran in, it's like, it's all about the community and about making sure that everybody feels comfortable. So how do you create that atmosphere? I mean, I know there's the day of the event, but there's got to be, we've had hundreds of people running together. So how do you promote that? Because maybe there's somebody that's listening that is like, I want to try a Spartan, but then I also don't want to do it alone. So how do I get people involved in that? Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Right. So, with Spartan, it sounds really scary because when you see the videos, you're thinking, there's no way. There's no way I can even do that. I'm gonna need a lot of training and all that. And don't get me wrong, you you do need a lot of training if you're wanting to do your personal best. But if you just want to try something out, you don't I don't want anybody to discount themselves just because they don't feel like they're fit, because that was me. I was not going to do a Spartan race. I even said that is a definitely a heck no for me. I'm not going to do a Spartan race. I am perfectly fine being a spectator. So when people say I'm never going to do that, there's no way I can do that, I'm not fit. I've been there. I've been in those shoes. Whereas you have Vic on the other side of the spectrum who trains all the time. He goes, he works out all the time. He may not go to the gym, but he does things that people do in the gym. And here I am. All I do is I walk. I watch what I eat. I want to be healthy, but I'm not, one of those people that go to the gym. But the best thing is that I got to try it. And once I tried it, Vic was there to help me. And I felt really great finishing and getting my medal. And so for me, I just want everybody to feel like, wow, I can do this. And so we started sharing that. And, as for people that know me, when I'm excited about something, I want to share it and I want you to experience it too. And so and people want to try it. And, sometimes I think they try it because they're just like, oh, yeah, we want to do it. And then they're like, I don't know about that. What did I get myself into? Because that's exactly what I felt like the week before the race. I wanted to quit already. But so once I did it, I knew what I needed to do, like for the next one. And so for me, when we're preparing for a race, I like for people to prepare as much as they can. Because as much as you prepare physically, the training and all of this different things that people do, that athletes do, for regular people like me, I think the best way to prepare for it is to make sure that you have the proper nutrition before the race, not just day of the race, before the race, hydrating, things that you need to bring on that day. And for us, when you're building a community, that's what we do is we talk about it. We talk about how to prepare. We go on our hikes. And it becomes not just about this one day. It becomes a community of us getting together before it, us having a chat, us having our concerns about the day and what's happening now. And I think also just having that chance to be able to talk to each other about just your day and what you're doing and what are you eating and, things like that. And you start to have friends within that group. So, and what I like about it is, and Vic tells me this all the time, it's good to have something on the calendar, because if you have something, then you're working towards that goal. And a lot of times people will just say, "I'll just do it." One day I'm going to do it. One day I'm going to do it. But when you sign up for a race and it's there, and you've committed, you're kind of stuck already and you've already said to people, and I blast their names on social media so that people know they're going to do this. So, and I think when you're doing this together, it doesn't feel as daunting. And when you cross the finish line and you have that shirt, people recognize you everywhere you go. You're like, we're instant friends. Like, you go travel, we're like, when we went to Hawaii and somebody saw us with our shirt, they're just like, "Oh, it's Spartan," and then it sparks a conversation, and now all of a sudden you have a friend there, and then you connect, and next time maybe they'll join you at the next Spartan race. And I think that's what I want to tell people is that you don't have to be super athletic to start it, and you don't have to know the people that are running it. We will welcome anybody from anywhere, just let us know. And then, our team, we just want people to be successful the first time that they do it. Because when you did it, right, I made sure you had your salt, you had your goo, and all the things that you needed to do. And that's what we do is we just prepare people for that day, but leading up to it is the fun part.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that first time I showed up in these really old loose basketball shorts, and you guys are like, those are gonna fall off after the first obstacle. So you better get this, you better get, I mean, you really were there to help out. And that kind of, I mean, it seems like in life in general, it's good to have somebody who can kind of guide you to get the goal that you want to get to. And so I know like you have kind of taken on that role for the group. And when you say successful, it's not like setting records successful.
No.
It's crossing the finish line, like doing the course and not even having to do all the obstacles, right? There might be some where you just say, you know what, I can't, I'm going to attempt it, or we'll see if I can, but you know, you still tried it and you still cross the finish line, you still get that medal, and that's a success sometimes, right?
Right.
That's awesome. So I do like that idea of putting something on the calendar as well, because I know for me, if I say, you know what, I'm gonna get healthier, I'm gonna do something, that's like, yeah, it's there. But yeah, when I committed to that first Spartan race with you, I was like, oh, I really do need to start running, or I really do need to start, you know, push-ups and different exercises to kind of prepare for the obstacles that they have. So
Burpees.
yeah, so it was motivating for sure. So I'm curious though. So if somebody, maybe they're not interested in doing the Spartan race, but they like that idea of hiking, like what have you done around that part of the community? Like how do you keep people engaged there? Do you do other things aside from the hikes? So you just mentioned the hikes, but are there other activities that you do around the community for people who maybe are not, their goal is not a Spartan race, but they want to be a part of the community?
So so there's different levels of being part of the Spartan race and also our community. And so we don't all just do Spartan. But for people that want to do marathons, 5Ks, or even for people that just want to be with us, we I'm part of different chat groups, depending on who they are. And sometimes they all start to merge, or they'll create new ones. So the people that are runners that I've met because of the race, now they've got the group, but then I've merged them with some people, and now we have this different group. So now we just chat. We chat about different activities that we might do. So it could just even be not just a hike, but maybe it's a day in the park that we're doing something active, or a barbecue even. So because people just want to be around people, I think. And I was just talking to one of the racers, and he was saying, I'm not sure, I really just want to be part of the group, but because he wasn't really planning on coming this time, but he says, I really want to make sure because I love spending time with you guys, you know, and it's that type of, I think, community that we want, where, if you don't have anybody else to hang out with, there's always going to be somebody that's going to go, whether it's at the park or we're doing some hikes. And during the hike is, I think, when we start exchanging tips and things that we are interested in. Again, not just about Spartan and not just about running, but what we take or what we're cooking, what healthy things we're cooking. And I think the more you're in that community of people that just want to be healthy, the more it's contagious. You start swapping recipes, you start swapping what is it, life hacks of things. And I think people love that it's not just about, we're not all about Spartan, even though it is a big topic, but sometimes they just want to hang out, and they don't have to be a Spartan. They can also be just a spectator, somebody who's going to watch the bags or whatever, because what's exciting about Spartan is there's also the kid factor. So maybe they don't want to do the Spartan, but their kids do. So they come for their kids to do the Spartan race. But maybe they don't want to do any of the races or the Spartan, but they just want to hang out with a whole bunch of people that are active, and then eventually they do.
Yep.
So whatever gets them there, I mean, we don't say, well, you don't do the Spartan, so no, you can't come. It's not about that, It's just about when you see people and they want to join you, I mean, we're not going to say no. But when you do join, we want to make sure you're having the best experience on your very first try. Because for a lot of things that we do, anything that we do, if you have a bad impression on the first one, you're not going to come back. And so I think that's what we want to do is we just want everybody to enjoy their first time. And that's why when you say, Vic has his personal best, but when we're in a big group, he wants them to be able to finish. And that's the goal for most of the first timers.
Yeah, that's great. And how often, and it's probably different, maybe getting closer to a Spartan race or something, but how often do you do these activities, the hikes or the activities at the park and maybe even the barbecues?
So for us, Vic goes on the hikes every weekend. So he's available. So if anyone wants to join him, he's there. No matter what, he's going to be there. But as far as like individual, because we're all busy, people are working, they've got different, whatever your work is, you have different schedules. So what we do is we start up a private page group, a Facebook group. And for those who don't have Facebook, I usually will also let them know information on Instagram, whatever platform they're in. And we share activities that we do, suggestions on exercises, and people start forming different groups within the group. And people start forming friendships within the group. And so sometimes wherever they live, they might start, doing something together, close together, because we can't all of us train all at the same time. That's just not going to happen. But the page that we have, the Facebook page, we post pictures of what we do, ideas on what you can do, how, recipes. So it becomes very interactive. So that, you might be just a lurker, but then you might have good feedback or ideas, and then you just put it in there. So, but what I like to do is I like to give incentives for people to participate, so that they'll say something, because who doesn't like prizes, right?
Right.
So, and it's funny because it doesn't even matter what it is. It's just like people just like to win. It could be something super small, but they just like to win. And so I'll put a little bit something. But I think just having little activities between groups and within groups and forming those friendships is what we can usually do during the regular week. And then on weekends, it's always there. It's no matter how busy, there's always going to be something, and someone will always be there. So let's say you have a friend that we've never met before, and you can just say, Joanne and Vic will be there. They'll take care of you. And you know that we will. And so we'll do the same. We'll say, well, Abby's going to be there. They're going to be hiking at this place, and they know. And so I think we've just built a culture of let's just take care of each other, because, it's just the best thing to do.
Right.
That's how we form the community.
I like that. And it's just like, what, come join us and have fun. And if I can't make it, but I have somebody, I know that they'll be taken care of because everybody has each other's backs. I think that's great.
Right.
You were even saying before, I know we were talking and now like even just at parties that you're going to and stuff, like these types of conversations come up. So it's almost like a way of life and for you. And maybe people are recognizing that now, or is it still, is anybody surprised that Joanne's going to talk about health when you're at a party?
Actually, it's funny because sometimes when I talk to people, I think they think that I'm super, super, super healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm really not. Like, I enjoy burgers. I enjoy like French fries too. I'm not opposed to pizza or anything like that. I'll eat vegan options, but I'm not vegan. It's just that, but when they do see me, they think, oh, we prepared this for you because, we want to make sure you have a healthy option. But I'm really not like that. I can eat anything. But they do know that they do see me that, yes, I do Spartan. But I think they think I'm super, super fit. I'm not, you see me too. I'm not as fit as Vic. Vic is the one that's really fit, but they do see us as that. And so, and I think for me, I'm the one who has to tell, in parties, I have to tell them, I know you can do it too. because believe it or not, you're probably more fit than I am. And half the time they are. They do more stuff. But they just think that there's no way I can do Spartan.
Right.
But and that's my thing is like you don't have to be like Vic, but you can. But you if I can do it, you can do it too. Because I'm not at that level where, I just do walks, I just do hikes, and I just take care of my health. I just eat I have better choices Monday to Friday, better choices Monday to Friday. But that's why for me, like they do know when they see me in parties that yes, I might be talking about Spartan. I might be in talking to them about shakes and stuff like that, but they'll see that I also eat other things that they like.
Right. Yep. That's awesome. And yeah, it is an entire spectrum. I know there's people who maybe they don't necessarily work out and they just want to go and show up and do it, to the people who like really train hard and want to break records, or their last race's record. I know for me, my first goal was I just want to do it. Like I just want to complete it. I want to say, and I did that same thing. I was like, I'll just do it and then I'm done. But you're pretty persistent. And so, and you get the community together and you say, no, Nate, we're doing this again. And so my new goal that I have is I want to be able to, I don't think I've been able to complete one race where I've done every single obstacle, like completed every single obstacle. I think there's been a couple times where I've done all but like 2 or 3 maybe. So my next goal is complete all of the obstacles, whenever that is. I don't have it on the calendar yet, but I need to do that. Got to get that on the calendar.
That is a great goal for you, Nate, because I haven't been able to do that either. I mean, I've done the burpees, the penalty loops, and all that because I know my limitation, and I think that's where people get scared when they think there's no way I can do a Spartan because they think they have to do all the obstacles.
Right.
But you don't. I mean, that's why there are the penalty loops, and it really is up to you. It's up to your personal best. And some people will have medical limitations, and that's okay. No one's gonna force you to do it. Vic does compete, so he has that red band that he uses, and he has to do them. And there's a camera that watches them, like and they're being watched. But the one that we do is an open race, and no one's gonna judge you. That's not what we're there for. But you're really just competing against yourself. Against your personal best. So if it's an obstacle that you can't do, then you do the penalty, or we all help you with the burpees. And I think that's the best part of being part of a team and being part of a community is you can share the penalty. But that's one thing I always tell people, don't try to do it if you know and you haven't trained for that particular obstacle because, we don't want you to get injured either. So there's certain things I know I'm not going to be able to do and certain things that I know, okay, this time I think I'm going to be able to do it.
Yep.
So, but we do help each other out. We give each other a boost, if height is your challenge or if being up in the like heights, being in high places is a challenge for you. We're going to talk you through it. We're going to make sure that you don't freeze while you're up there. People are, it's not just our team, but the whole community is like that.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. It is really a community. In and of itself, Spartan is a community. And I know, like, if it's your first time or if you are inspired by what Joanne's been saying and you want to sign up for a Spartan race, like you might go there with just a small group, or maybe you can go there alone. But once you get to that starting line, you have a community there already kind of built in, and everybody, maybe not everybody, but in my experience, everybody that I bumped into is willing to help out. I mean, if you look like you're having a hard time getting over that 8-foot wall, somebody's going to be there and say, "Here, just step on my hands. I'll help lift you up." Or if you are struggling and people see that, they're there to help out. And it's really fun to watch how everybody kind of comes together through the race. So
Right. Yeah.
that's great. Well, Joanne, I know I've kept you for a long time. I appreciate you being so gracious with your time and willing to share that kind of what you do around the Spartan race and how you create the community and what you do in between the races. Are there any last words of it, maybe advice or wisdom that you'd like to share with us before we close out this podcast?
Um, I would just say, just try it. don't let the fear stop you from doing it. And if you need a team to do it with, come over here, come to California. We'll also be in Montana. We're gonna be going to Vermont. You know, just I just say just try it. And then because even if you're doing it in a place where none of us are there, that community itself will help you. But arm yourself with all of the nutritional things that you need to do because you, doing a Spartan race or marathon or 5K or whatever, it's all about preparation. And so that's what you just need to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joanne. Again, appreciate your time. Appreciate you spending it with us. And we'll talk with you soon.
All right. Thank you, Nate.